Today we are on another adventure travelling on the Murray Princess, travelling on the Murray River on a 4-night, 5-day heritage tour starting here at Mannum, which is approximately 100 kilometres from Adelaide to Blanchtown in South Australia. The Murray Princess is an authentic pedal wheeler which is driven by a massive stern wheel. It was built in 1988 and it was built especially for the Murray River, and is the largest pedal wheeler in the Southern Hemisphere. The vessel has 5 passenger decks and in addition a sun deck for excellent viewing of the river and wetlands. All the decks have been named after the names of the early pioneers of the Murray River. It can also cater for 120 passengers, 67 metres long, and travels at a speed of 6 knots. There are 60 cabins in total, made up of a variation of accommodation of staterooms inside and outside cabins. On arrival, we were taken into the paddle wheeler lounge, which is aft of the boat, and its spectacular floor-to-ceiling glass windows. The lounge is a relaxing resting area where you can make yourself a cuppa, and where coffee, tea, and I also saw hot chocolate is available any time of the day. And yes, bickies are supplied as well. In the lounge there's also a gift shop for that little gift or for some memories to take home. It has 2 spiral staircases that would take you to the next deck above. There are 2 lounge areas where you can relax, read or play games. One is at the front of the boat and perfectly placed, of course, next to the bar. The pedal wheeler lounge is aft of the boat with its constantly pedalling wheel that is taking us on a slow journey up the river. The ambience of the dining room is just spectacular with its mahogany timber interior. The dining room has seating for all people at one sitting and is open for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and of course for the night entertainment as well. And yes, the bar is open. Besides the entertainment that night, we had a gentleman by the name of Lance, who is a guest artist on the boat, and who decided to let his piano skills flow. Off came the covers, and he broke out in music, entertaining us for a while during the afternoon. The Murray River is in South Australia and is the longest river in Australia at 2,508 kilometres long, However, it starts at the Australian Alps, draining the western side of the Australian highest mountains and winding down its journey, forming a border between the states of New South Wales and Victoria. It finally ends up south, emptying into the Great Southern Bight in Adelaide. The river is about 130 million years old and is rich with Aboriginal history, culture and heritage. As we are slowly travelling up the river on our way to Blanchtown, the river shows off its beauty, varying from flat wetlands to the towering limestone cliff faces along the way. There are many homes along the way, some permanent residents, some holiday homes, but also some uninhabited. I heard somebody ask whether there is any fish in the river, and the answer was yes, many. Too many to name, but in fact there are 19 different species of fish, including the famous Murray cod. In addition, the introduced species of the European carp, the redfin oriental and eastern gambusia, and even goldfish. The carp, even though it has a terrible pest, it also has a good side to it, as it is caught and made into garden fertilisers such as Charlie carp. And the next question was that it was asked if it was safe to swim in the Murray River, and the answer from the Environment Department is that it is too dangerous to swim in. There are various currents and possible submerged tree trunks just under the surface and could possibly snag you. 3 species of freshwater shrimp are also present, as well as yabbies and Murray spiny. As we are just around the corner of the historic town of Blanchtown, which is going to be our overnight mooring before returning downstream back to Mannum tomorrow morning. As you can see, the crew had to lower the 2 funnels or exhaust to be able to get under the bridge. As we are approaching the lock, the vessel is slowly manoeuvred towards the chamber of the lock, and it's quite a feat to be able to get into the lock as speed decreases. Of course, you lose rudder and steering becomes non-existent. But today we have Jamie, our first officer, showing off his skills. The lock chamber is approximately 17 metres wide by 83 metres long, but the width of the Murray Princess is about 14 metres, meaning that there is only about 1,500 millimetres on each side and leaves very little space for error. Here today we are at the lower end of the river and need to raise the water level in the lock by about 1.5 metres. But once in the lock, the gates behind us will close and water is released into the lock chamber from the high end of the weir, raising the water level and of course also the boat. Upstream gates are then opened and the boat continues on its way. Also, the water levels in the locks are raised and lowered entirely by gravity, and no pumps are used. Blanchtown is only approximately less than 1,000 metres from the lock, and you can see the tenders going forward to prepare our mooring for the night. It only takes 7 minutes to empty or fill the lock chamber, but it normally takes about 15 to 20 minutes to pass a boat through the lock. It can actually take 6 to 8 medium houseboats at one particular time. And depending on the amount of boat traffic, it can raise and lower the level several times per day. The lock can only be used between the hours of 8 a.m. in the morning and 4:30 when it closes for the day. It also operates 364 days per year and is closed on Christmas Day. The remaining old Blanchtown Bridge was built in 1963 and provides for viewing up and downstream, and a new bridge was built in 1998 and is part of a major national highway, namely the Sturt Highway. It is a very important road link for transport of passengers and freight between Adelaide and Sydney. As we are slowly cruising away from the lock, we noticed one of the iconic features of the Murray River banks, the River Red Gum. It lines the Murray River for most of its length. Many dead trees are found along the river due to the salinity and acid sulfate, which is flowing downstreams from the centre of Australia. The impact to the trees is absolutely enormous. However, it also forms hollows and housing for many species of birds and other wildlife. The dead trees are protected and are not allowed to be removed. We're now in the process of turning the boat around for mooring and also for an early and easy departure tomorrow morning. Here in Blanchtown there is no pier, so mooring is as close to the riverbank as you can get. Denz, the boat engineer, is happy tying up and roping up the boat, and what's more secure than tying it up around some trees. A gangplank will take us on dry land. The town itself is small, with a few heritage listed buildings, and only has a population of about 307 people. Very few children. Most residents are in their 50 and 60 age group. I also found out that a house can be bought with loose change, and a just recent median price somewhere for around $180,000. We have just arrived at Swan Reach, river port just south of Blanchtown. There was an option to visit the local pub or walk into the town and visit the museum. We opted for a walk up the hill. The Swan Reach Museum is housed in the original school building that was built in 1917, and it only had an attendance of about 40 students. The museum holds a fascinating collection of memorabilia and past history. Swan Reach was first settled in the 1850s and was originally the largest of 5 kettle stations in the area. It soon became the first riverboat port in South Australia and also was a loading port for grain and wool. It also boasts a cable ferry crossing operated by the state government as part of the state's roadworks. A couple of years ago, it had a population of 283. The museum itself holds a fascinating amount of memorabilia dating back to many years and bringing back wonderful memories. Also today boasts a area school, a hotel and a bottle shop, and of course a general store and a post office and a church. Another tourist boat, namely the Proud Mary, stops here once a week, and the shops are here open Monday to Friday and also Saturday morning.
I'd like you to meet Ross, who's the master and captain of the boat, working on the starboard console, bringing the boat back into the bank for mooring and an overnight stay. This stop here at Sunnybank is also part of the Heritage Tour and will be greeted by the local sheep farmer who has invited us all for a sheep shearing demonstration tonight. We're all being picked up by rawhide transport and taking the 3-kilometre journey to his farm. Our next stop on our journey is the Ngaut, which is a conservation park and a protected area on the east bank of the Murray River, just downstream of the town of Ngaut. The Ngaut Aboriginal site offers a walkthrough where you can experience the Aboriginal culture and also a journey through the ancestral home of the Ngunguraku people. Whilst many non-Aboriginal people know of Ngaut by the English name, which is Devon Downs, the Aboriginal community have and will always refer to this place by its traditional name.
Alright, so first rule. Life jackets, please do not unclip them, please keep them on. Please keep them on until you're back on the Princess. Next rule, do not stand up unless Dan tells you otherwise.
Okay.
When you are allowed to stand, please do not cross this yellow line.
Yep.
Does anyone have any hearing aids?
No.
No?
Yep, they're all on. Out.
Hold on to your hat, you might lose it. Alright kids, enjoy!
Also, as part of the cruise, the crew is giving all the passengers the opportunity to have a ride on the tender boat and to view the Maori Princess sailing past the mighty cliffs from a different view. As the evening descends, the evening sunset gives a photo opportunity that you just cannot miss.
That's alright! Now get the hell off my boat. And you go. Hey? No, nothing about my heart. My heart's all dead and cold at the moment. I'm freezing. That's alright, mate. As long as you enjoyed it, that's why I do it. Okay, thank you. That's alright.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to the Sturt Dining Room for most of you, your final evening meal with us. How was was your afternoon, everybody? I was sitting in my office, banging away on my computer, and I could hear all this yahooing going on from outside my door, and I think there was a few people having a lot of fun on those tender boat rides this afternoon. Would I be right? Yes, sounds like you all had a lot of fun, and I think the weather was perfect for it too, wasn't it? Okay, did we get lots of nice photos from the tender boat? And was Dan gentle with you?
No.
Jackie Dan? Oh, you wanted it rougher? Oh, okay, so he was gentle then, was he? All right, well, you all look fabulous. Thank you for dressing up. I can see a few ties out there, and I can see a few sparkles. We're always partial to a sparkle here on Murray Princess, which is wonderful. So, but we look pretty good too, don't you think? Oh, you're all fabulous. So on that note, we might get into a bit of a pose that might be slightly rehearsed. We may have done this before, and you're all welcome to come up and take a photo. Up you come. Your 6 courses. Are you feeling nice and full and content now? Yeah. Well, I did say on Monday I would be rolling you off that red carpet off the end of the gangway on Friday afternoon, and I didn't lie, did I? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you've had your dessert, you've had your 6 courses. Have you had a wonderful evening? Beautiful. Well, it has come to that time of the evening where I'd actually like to ask the master of the vessel to come out and say a few words. So if everyone could please put your hands together for Captain Ross Elliott.
Thank you, everybody. It's the glasses, they make me look less of a thug. Well, guys, it's been our great pleasure this week to bring you the Murray River. How have we enjoyed it? Now, there is more than me on the boat. I'm not the only one. I'm probably the most important one, to be fair. Arguably. Shane, yeah, he is actually the most important. I would like to invite the rest of the crew out here. Come on, crew. What do you reckon, guys? Good looking bunch, good crew. Well, there's nearly everybody except for one, our night porter. He's still asleep. So if you see Floyd around, give him a shout. Now, this is a spectacular crew. It takes something special to work and live on one of these ships. So these guys are here for at least a week at a time. They live in each other's pockets. They share cabins, a lot of them. Some of it we know about, some of it we don't. We put them 2 to a cabin, most of them, so living in each other's pockets, you've got to be a special kind of person to deal with that. So you need to be tolerant, you need to be very giving, you need to be good to each other, nice, good-natured and everything. And this crew has got it all, I have to say. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce them to you. I'd like to introduce, sorry, what was that?
The ship is fantastic, but the crew are the icing on the cake.
The icing on the cake. So I'd like to introduce, first of all, the guy that's brought you all the food, our head chef, Ron. And his lovely assistant, Chef 2, Tanita. And we have a third chef, her name is Bron. Leading hand galley, And a good man to have on the river in an emergency, because if we sink, he can wade ashore for help. It's a room. And, oh, who else do we have? Nick. He's also wading ashore. Look at the size of him. Oh yes, it's Nadine hiding there. This is a multi-talented Nadine. She can pretty much do everything on the boat. Oh, well. I think we'll go over this way for a while, guys. We'll go over this way.
If you go.
We'll come back to him, we'll come back to it. Okay, I've got to think of what I'm going to say about that. So, have you all had chocolates on your pillows? Well, that's very much, in fact, to our lovely cabin and wait, Cat. And, oh, who do we have next? Oh, yes. The first time I got on this boat, someone came to me with a pair of my undergarments. Who was it? Wonderful cabin staff. I'd left them behind in the cabin, she returned them to me, but the rumours flew.
Whose cabin?
I don't think they've ever died down, it's Amanda. And also from the hospitality team we have Christelle. And, well, we actually have a few Dans on board, so what's the... Button Up Dan. Not a hair out of place. Great work, great work. I'm still figuring out the nicknames, but the other Dan, what do we call you now?
Number one Dan.
Handsome Dan. That's the one, Handsome Dan. Excellent work. Oh, also, we have, as part of the team, Sophie. And last but certainly not least, believe it or not, she was born in this century. It's Georgia. It feels like yesterday to me as well, guys. I don't know what it feels like to you. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah. We'll go back over here. So back when the boat was launched, 1986, they were cruising up from Gulwa, and they came across, passing through some reeds, they saw a little basket with a baby floating. Who was that baby but Dan? Yes, well, he's been with the boat ever since. We can't throw him back now, so yeah, it's Dan. Fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Did everybody have a good boat ride today? Yeah! Fantastic. Nobody was too scared? Okay, that's what we like to hear. Okay. Also, in our deckhand role, we have the wonderful Kate. Katie. One syllable words are easy to shout out one from the wheelhouse. We also have the wonderful Hayden. Now, assisting in the bar and making most of those wonderful cocktails. Have you guys enjoyed the cocktails? Woo! We have Chantel. And you might have seen a few bottles spinned. It's the maestro of the bar, Shane. And bringing a really exotic flair to the boat, we have our pianist, Alex. I better go back across here. Well, it's a big boat, 70 metres long, 60 cabins, 75 toilets, about 100 pumps, 6 engines. It's a lot to look after for one guy, so we got the biggest engineer we could find. It's Nick. And my right-hand man, literally, and master of mediaship in the past, we have the wonderful Jamie. Okay, we go back over this way. Last and certainly not least, although perhaps in height, we have the fantastic cruise director, bane of our existence in the wheelhouse, but pretty much does a good job keeping everybody in line, including us. Here we have the wonderful Alicia.
I miss you too, Rob.
Fantastic. What do you think, guys? What are they? A good crew? Yeah! I love them all. I'm going to miss them. I really am. Now, guys, back to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not traditionally the first officer's job to grab the microphone here. However, the crew are wandering off, so it's not quite so bad. But I would like to take this opportunity, as a lot of you probably know, but some of you maybe not. This is Ross's last trip on board the Murray River. He's moving on to bigger and better things in Tasmania. So I'd just like to, well, yeah, actually smaller, but better paid in Tasmania. So just on behalf of the crew and everybody at Captain Cook Cruises, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ross for all his work. Thank you, Ross. Definitely a back injury in the morning.
Do they have any locks in
Wonderful.
Tassie, Ross?
Pardon?
Do they have any locks in Tassie?
No.
That's why they're sending him there. Yeah, but it wasn't the captain. It was the first officer that went through. Remember? All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds of applause for our captain, Australia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Please stay on. I'm sure Alex has got some beautiful music for you to kick up your heels on this wonderful wooden dance floor, and I'm sure you need to lighten your load a little bit and burn off some kilojoules. So we'll be around to clear your tables, but please stick around. I'm sure Alex has got some awesome music for you, and you're welcome to stay on and dance the night away. Thank you very much for cruising with us. We've had a fabulous week. I hope you have too. And for my people that are staying on board, have a wonderful day tomorrow. And at least we'll see you back here tomorrow evening, okay? Once again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been awesome.
I'm leaving today. I want to be a little far away. We are here. It's my ocean. Along in the train. Right through the very hot lane. We are here. I'm on the way down in the city. That diamond flick and fine. I'm king of the hill, top of the hill, king of the hill. This little country, I'm melting away. I'll make you burn you down a thing. If I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anyway. It's up to you, you. down.